Hey everybody. So yes, I have a slip disc, and if you saw my post, um, it's getting better. It's on the mend, and I have good moments and bad moments, good days and bad days. It's more better. It's more better than worse lately. So anyway, I am going to talk about a relationship calculation. I talked about it before. I'll show you that more. But I talked about it in our last show, and so hello, whoever joined. So I'm just going to give a demonstration of this. I'm going to just dive right in. Um, people will just join as they will, and then we can talk about your cards and your relationships. But one of the gifts I seem to have is to figure out what certain placements mean. Ogonboru, Damiola, Damiolola, Damilola. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to start out with my relationship with Stuart. And what I've learned about this is that the longer the relationship, the more clearly you can see these progressions, because it's like a way to figure out the hand of the relation, not the hand of the relationship, that's the composite card, but the rewards, like if you do your work, what can result. So we've been together almost 13 years. So it's very clear to me what our work has been. And if the work is accomplished, it's like partners are just kind of like, okay, I did my work, he didn't do his work. So we can't bring the results of our work together to get the reward. And that there's a very specific series of rewards for each relationship. So I'm just going to start out with, okay, the 7 of diamonds, I'm the 7 of diamonds, he's the 3 of clubs. You add the solar values together and you get a composite. Our composite is the 10 of spades. Okay, so I just want to pause here for a second. Hi, Miss Dell. Yes, I'm glad you caught me live too. So the thing about the composite card, and I can do a whole video on this some other time, but kind of like I talk about the pure spread, it's like one of those basics that we need to pay more attention to and spend more time with. The composite card shows you the personality of the relationship on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so the moon card, oh good. So if you know any 3 of clubs, what I have to say works for you in that relationship. That should be interesting. Um, so yeah, that 10 of spades, like for example, the 5 of clubs is in the moon position. So like it's really emotionally interesting and supportive when we are, oh good, 4 of clubs. Don't get many of those. Like research and learning new information, the love of words. It's like that's just a day-to-day, pleasure that we have. And I could go through the whole hand. Like my card is Saturn to the 10 of spades, which means I have a Saturn relationship to our relationship, which means I am the de facto teacher in a lot of things. And hey, just accept it. It's like sometimes I'm the one to be like, okay, did you do this? Did you do this? But he's also the 9 of hearts, which means he's also the 7 of diamonds. So it goes both ways. It's very cool. Okay, enough on the composite. So what I've figured out is that no, I didn't figure this out. I'm going to go get the book that I'm learning this from. Oh, good. Use your 3 of clubs, friend. But we're looking at the relationship specifically between the 7 of diamonds and the 3 of clubs. So yeah, to get your composite, you would add the 4 of clubs to, the 3 of clubs. And anyway, that's 16 and 17. So this is the book that I'm working off of. So I really want to give this guy credit, Stephen G. Meyer. So he introduced the initial formula, but then of this little section where you take your composite card of you plus the relationship. But then his interpretations are off. I'm just going to come out and say it. Oh, okay. So that's a significant connection. I need another piece of scrap paper. So you would take 16 plus 17, that's the 3 of clubs and the 4 of clubs, and you get 33, which is the 7 of diamonds. Is the geometry just crazy? Your composite card with your best friend is the 7 of diamonds. I would imagine that it's very intimate. It's a relationship where it really enables you to say, I am of unique value, you are of unique value. The 7 of diamonds is all about realizing your uniqueness, your strangeness, your weirdness, and then seeing that that's your gift, your preciousness. And I'm just hearing you say, there's no one else in the world that does this for me. And there are no other cards that give you the 7 of diamonds composite. Well, there might be another, I don't know, but that's fascinating. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to tell you how to progress from that. So when I take my relationship with the 10 of spades, so I take my card, the 7 of diamonds, plus the relationship composite. So I'm taking, so that's why I circled this here. I take this relationship and I get the 4 of diamonds. Stuart does the same and he gets the King of Hearts. This you can make a statement out of that should make you laugh. It should nail you in terms of both the gifts and the liabilities that, you know, what you struggle with the relationship. So the composite that I get is the 4 of diamonds. The meaning of the 4 of diamonds is enough. So the statement that and the meaning of the King of Hearts is emotional responsibility. So I was able to make this statement. And I would encourage you to do this same diagram. Write the statement that when you do your work and they do their work, which is, in my case, when I am enough and I am secure, when I have made myself secure of my own accord, that's the meaning of a 4. It's not about finding security, it's about creating it from within. And I feel solid in my value and my values. And he is emotionally responsible when he's grown up, because he is a club. We are rewarded with the 4 of spades. We are rewarded with a home. And indeed, we broke up and got back together, and immediately after we did and sorted out our work, it was within a few months that I started shopping for a new situation. So we ended up getting this place, and completely, it's like a nearly 40-year-old trailer we got in a cow town. Like, it's not even really a town, it was on a farm. And we completely gutted it and remodeled it. And we have a home, and we sit on a 5-acre piece of land looking out at fields and nature and deer. And we are still trying to take it in. But it was like the universe just said, boom, you did your work. Now you get a house. Because I realized I was enough instead of asking him to da-da-da, whatever. I am enough. And he took emotional responsibility for his shit, which was just, it was a shock to me. I waited a long time. Okay, so it continues. If I take this, this is now a real thing for us. What is my vibration plus this reward? So if I take the 7 of diamonds plus the 4 of spades, what I get is an opportunity. So he names these, I think he adds them together the same, but he'll say, oh, one has this is the Mercury of the relationship, this is the Venus. And it's like, no, 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 no. The composite hand gives you those. This is a progression through time, like the 13-year cycles or the 7-year cycles, the really big picture. And I don't mean any offense to him. And if he eventually sees this video, it's like, thank you so much for doing this work, for following your fascination and discovering this, however this came to you. So when I add the house to my vibration, 33 plus 43, I get, what is that? The Jack of Clubs. He gets the 7 of Hearts. So you make another statement. I started thinking about these cards and I'm like, okay, How have I used this opportunity of security and house that we have created together? What has that kind of set me free to do? To create, to do these videos, to develop this very thing. I'm demonstrating the Jack of Clubs. You bring your mental genius to something and you create. Jacks are creative. And what have I been hearing him say for the last year, which also comes as a total shock? Three of Clubs, give you a little tidbit. Anybody with a card in the Saturn line, and this includes Seven of Diamonds, are going to have, they're probably going to have pretty dysfunctional families. And the Saturn line in particular is like severely dysfunctional. Woo! So the Seven of Hearts was his opportunity to forgive. Now, this is something he's been working on for decades, but, had a lot of anger for most of those decades. And then all of a sudden, he has this home, he has this security. He's like, wow, I'm actually happy. I think I can let go of all the shit that happened with my family. I can let go of them, drop expectations. He's still working on it, and I'm still creating. I mean, I've decided to create a certification course. So we're going to be working with our opportunities for years. So when we have achieved those opportunities, you make another statement here. When I create with ideas and he lets go and forgives, we can, so that's, I just led into it with we can, because it's another reward, another opportunity. We get the Five of Diamonds. We can travel, change jobs, experience financial freedom. I don't know what it is yet, how it's going to take form, but I can guess it will be in those categories. And then one more, add the Seven of Diamonds to this composite. So you're always adding your card to the composite. So I add my card to this composite and I get the Queen of Hearts. Maybe I'll be a grandmother. Yay, that would be great. It looks like it's never going to happen at this point. For his kids too, I've got two, he's got two. They're both late 20s, early 30s. And it could also mean rip-roaring great sex in my late 60s or 70s. Okay. And what's really funny is he gets the Eight of Spades, which is physical strength, power, discipline, leadership. Who knows how it's going to manifest, but I can see far enough, I can catch a glimpse and go, that makes sense. That's what would happen is that, after I get done with this creative business phase of my life, I have money flowing in, and then I'm just deciding to settle back into my role as wife, mother, and grandmother. Kind of makes sense. So hi, Jason, how are you? I'm so glad you found me. Yeah, I just decided to do this video when I was ready. I was really dragging my feet because it's like when something, I don't have any pain right now, but when something's off with your body, it's like all the little cells just gather in and into a huddle, and it's like they're poking the fire and just staring at it. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Okay, so, bring your questions, your relationships. So Ugunburu has a best friend of the Three of Clubs. She's the Four of Clubs. And when you add those together, yeah, it's calm now. And then she gets the Seven of Diamonds, which is my card. And that's the course of their relationship. So, yeah, we can work with that a little bit too. So castor oil, I've just discovered it. And I, put a ton of it on this little towel and laid it right on my lumbar. It's my L4, and then a heating pack, and just like belted it and laid down and just let it sit there for a couple of hours. And what's incredible is it all absorbs. And so there's just this real peaceful feeling right now. I think it takes down inflammation and helps growth. Yeah, and in your belly button. It's like, what's that about? It's where you receive sustenance from your mother, and we just don't think about it, do we? But it's an energetic center marked by a dot. So, full moon. Yeah, we had a full moon a couple of days ago, and it was in Virgo. And I was kind of thinking about that, and nothing really came to me because I've just been in pain. And when you're in pain, that's your world. I have so much more compassion for people who are in chronic pain. It's like your whole life is geared around pain management, and it's like scary to think about going out. I went to the grocery store yesterday. It's the first thing I did in 6 days, was it? Or 7? And it was just like, getting stronger. Look at me, I'm at the grocery store. I was like, whoa, little things are so exciting. Um, so I want to continue to work with this whole model that I created in Jason. I'm excited for you to go back and just look at how I calculated all of this and do it for your relationships, your main relationships, because it is so obvious to me what the cards mean. Hi, Bronze Beauty. Happy Friday. Yeah, it's Viernes, right? Let's see. Yeah, it's ruled by Venus, is it? Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, or something like that. Viernes, sábado, domingo. So yeah, it's ruled by Venus. So I've heard that it's a good day to get flowers. Isn't that lovely? Lashana, hi. Yes, please ask your question, Jason. Aphrodite. Yeah, Venus. Beauty. Leisure. And there are a couple of days that I realize as a culture we line up with, and all the other ones go the other way, like rubbing against the fur. I mean, this woman, I can't remember her name, but I talked about this in my last video. Someone sent it to me, and she was saying that Monday really should be a day to connect with the Logos, with God, a deep day of meditation and prayer. And sometimes we get a day off on Monday, so it's nice to do that. But Friday is one of those days that lines up. Viernes, yes, Venus. What should we talk about? What do you guys want to talk about? Oh, Merging Spirit, Girl Boss TV, Goddess Sharon. Hi! Yeah, what are your questions? What is today? Is it March 1st? So, March 1st, here's how I figure out the cards. Robert Camp himself said that he said very glibly when he learned how I calculate what the cards are given any day. It takes me like less than a minute to figure any day in the year. Sometimes I have it instantly. He said, well, 7 of diamonds are genius. And I was like, oh, okay, so January 1st is the King of Spades. February 1st is the Jack of Spades. March 1st is the 9 of Spades. You see? And then it just descends. So it's the 9 of Spades today. Yeah. 9 of Spades is a tricky card, right? It's like, I'm going to be able to see up close what this really means as a relationship composite, because my son and this girl, who you can't even really call his girlfriend, but she just seems to not leave the picture, and kind of, a lot of issues and stuff, and just letting the unconscious drive the bus. And I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself? And I've apologized in case it's my fault, but it's the 9 of Spades, which means this guy said it's doomed to fail. But it's like, so yeah, it's got a bad, sometimes endings happen with it, but it's also maybe harvest. It's another way to look at a 9, and the metaphysical esoteric slant on the 9 of Spades is that it's, can I get a bigger context with which to understand this? What's the biggest story? I think 9s might have something to do with the whole. So 9 of Hearts is the whole person, the whole love. Not, but yeah, 9 of Clubs would be, I call it the whole story. I started doing that a long time. Yeah, the repeater number, the completion, the reflector. The 9 of Diamonds is the whole value system, something's value in its wholeness. And the 9 of Spades is the whole context, the whole story of eons or whatever. And I have the 9 of Spades as my Jupiter card, which means it's connected to my abundance. So I talk to dead people. I really do. But it's also, I have a very powerful urge to always be getting a larger and larger context until finally we leave the known universe and there's just, infinite everything, which is kind of another expression of the Nine of Spades. Merging Spirit says, I was researching my Six of Spades and my roommate is King of Hearts relationship. I'm trying to figure out why we're still together. Okay, clarify that a little bit. Okay, are you the Six of Spades? You're giving me a map. This is good. You're giving me the points of the map. Okay, so you're the Six of Spades, which is 45. The roommate. Okay, you're like, why am I just still with this same roommate? What about this works? Is that your question? That's 13. So 45 plus 13 equals 58 minus 52 is the Six of Hearts. It's karmic. It's an appointment. It's a date with destiny. We both said it at the same time. That is so freaking cool. And it also, another characteristic of the six is that you work together, you have a project, you have a purpose, and it will be smooth and uneventful. Okay, so an odd card be looking at an even card in their spread, and they're like, oh, thank an even card might look at that and go, or the odd card might be like, oh, it's going to be boring. But we need both, right? Angelica, hello. That is really cool. So you've been together a long time, so let's continue this. So we're gonna figure out your task in the relationship, which is Six of Spades plus the Six of Hearts. So that's 45 plus 6, which is 51. This relationship has challenged you in the ultimate way. Do you know what card number 51 is? It's also your personality card. It's the Queen of Spades, and she represents self-mastery. This is the third person now that I've seen that's their work card. That's what I call it. Okay, the composite is what your cards are together, the composite, and then this is your work card, the Queen of Spades. So Lashana, 10 of diamonds and 6 of diamonds. Relationships is 3 of clubs. Okay, well, look at that. Thank you. So what is your roommate's work? That would be 13 plus 6 is 19, which is the, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6 of clubs. Yeah, and that's the 6 of clubs. A lot of sixes here. So her work is maybe to be true to her word, to be consistent, to be responsible with her speech, and maybe it helps to reveal her purpose. Fascinating. I love it. Okay, Lashana. 10 of diamonds. Are you the 10 of diamonds? And the 6 of diamonds. So we have 36 plus 32 is 68, which is the 16, 3 of clubs. Okay, so what that means as a relationship is that, and it's also interesting to do this right off the bat. Say, okay, 10 of diamonds, where is your relationship composite in relationship to you? It's your Uranus card. It's descending Uranus. So there may be a feeling of like inconsistency, unpredictability. Are they going to show up or not? Is this a real relationship or not? And in the higher frequency, it's like, oh, this is totally breaking the mold. It's unconventional. We don't know what to call it. It's like Christ consciousness. So, Lashana, am I hitting it at all? Because this is your Uranus card? Not because it's the 3 of clubs, but because the 3 of clubs is your Uranus card. Okay, for the 6 of diamonds, we got Pluto here, and then I call it Jupiter Plus or Cosmic Lifetime Reward or whatever Robert Camp calls it. Anyway, it's Jupiter. It's positive. So it's like, he's like, this 6 of diamonds would be like, God, this relationship is such a reward. I just love it. And okay, you're the 10 of diamonds. And Saturn final result is Ace of Hearts. Okay, we get back to the, what do you, okay, merging spirit, what do you mean by final result? And then tell me how you got there. Because you can just go to the Six of Hearts. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Yes, this is important to look at the hand, the whole hand. Yes, okay, Lashana, that I'm hitting the mark. Okay, so Jupiter, no wait, Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, Jupiter, Saturn. So, right, Ace of Hearts, are you saying, you're talking about your roommate, right? And why do you bring up the Ace of Hearts? Oh, okay, right. So, Lashana, this is meant to, it's meant, I'm getting this image of like kind of reaching under, I don't mean this in a sexual way, but like reaching under your skirt or under the equipment and just kind of yanking on it. It's like this is yanking you in your, in an, I would say, unconscious place. Because they're kind of showing me a place that you sort of keep under wraps. Like literally, it's like, oh, this is, it's going to really test your security. It's going to be, oh, Uranus relationships are just weird that way, right? It's just like, what the hell are we doing? Even. I hate that. And sure enough, I was like, Sebastian has that with his relationship. That's exactly what he has. Well, remember how I said the composite was the 9 of spades? Well, the 9 of spades sits under the 6 of spades, which is his descending Uranus card. Holy shit! I love this. Okay. It's not dependable. Okay. I'm a reward blessing to the 6 of diamonds, but they're the opposite to me. How do you figure that? So if you just take this spread, you have a Mars connection. And so if you look at the ascending thing, the 6 of diamonds is ascending Mars to you, which means when you're in a really, really good place, kind of more, more conscious, more motivated by spirit, then that 6 of diamonds Mars is like, oh, I know what my calling is. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know how I'm supposed to make money. There's a sense of purpose, a sense of security, stability, predictability in career and relationships with men. So this person will really challenge you to maybe be an example. I don't know. Yeah, and I get that you're figuring that in one of these, one of the complex aspects of the cards. So what does it mean to have a 3 of clubs composite? So again, we have this, everything's so connected in this group right now already. So the 3 of clubs relationship means, on top of that being a Uranus thing, you're like, can't we come to a conclusion? Like, where are we going to go out to eat? We've decided I'm this and you're that, but it turns out maybe not so much. So the 3 of clubs, these clubs are pulling in opposite directions, and it's meant to expand you conceptually because it's a club. Oh, I'm starting to cramp up on the right side. Shit, that's not where the injury is. That means compensation's happening. Okay, so yeah, the 3 of clubs, it's the conceptual expander. How can we think differently about this? How can we have new thoughts about this? The POV, that's what it's called. Right, the point of view. I call it the work. So when we add, we didn't even do this. What's your work? So 36 plus 16. Your card plus the composite of the relationship card, and we get 50, no way, 52. Oh my God, your work is the King of Spades. What does that mean? What does that even mean? The King of Spades is such a big card that sometimes it's hard to just drill down to its particularities. I would say your work is not just in the deep personal Queen of Spades, taking responsibility for your consciousness and your manifestations. I would say it has more to do with having done that work, getting your ducks in a row and taking responsibility for yourself. Okay, but as a 10 of diamonds, honey, you do that way too much. You do it for everybody. You don't delegate enough. You're like, I'm capable of doing everything, so I guess I probably just should do everything, right? Because I'm really good at it. Yeah, you're a genius, but you're just one person. So just like learn to delegate. And your 9 of hearts, descending Saturn or Pluto, is self-esteem. So even though you're like this sparkly, giant, beautiful, amazing, oh my God, look at everything she can do, you're like, am I loved for what I can do and how I show up for people, or am I loved for who I am? And that is your own personal, deep, dark, secret journey. So the King of Spades is very karmic to you in that Pluto, 9 of hearts, you're into the circle of 7. So the King of Spades has a Pluto energy to you too. So this relationship is a huge death and rebirth experience. And what I'm hearing for you is that you get to be let off the hook, because the King of Spades will ask you, what are you responsible for? And sometimes you have to say, not that, not him, not that behavior, not that fuck up, but I am responsible for this feeling or this response. That's some big medicine. Yeah, precious 10 of diamonds. Yeah. Yeah, when you get taken out of the mix for a while, you realize the world does indeed go on without you. You guys have some tough lessons. And you remember I did this whole video on the 10 of diamonds? It's like there's a karma there of leadership. And leadership is, it's filled with its own burdens. So anyway, King of Spades is what is my responsibility and what is not my responsibility. Okay, what is the work of the 6 of diamonds? 32 plus 16 is 48, which is the 9 of spades. Is that right? I just belched. Excuse me. Sorry, it's gross. Once again, we're at the 9 of spades. These card themes and how they show up. Don't you just love it? So going back to Jason's, the repeater number, 9 of spades completion. Sometimes it's the nightmare. What is it for this 6 of diamonds? So for him, or I don't know if it's a him, but anyway, it's in his ascending hand. So this is ascending Neptune, ascending Pluto. It's a reward card. It's like the 7 of clubs is to you descending. It's the Jupiter plus 9 of spades. So again, this relationship is a total boon to this person. The work that he has to do is this isn't coming directly from a kind of sense of guidance. It's a strange kind of feeling guidance, but I'm just going to say it. He needs to frickin' get off the couch and finish something. I don't see the 6 of diamonds that way. They tend to be very responsible, very routine oriented. Their hand is in the Jupiter line. It's mostly even cards, so they sail through life with the physical tasks pretty easily. In fact, I would say that you guys need to work really hard to get the should and the adulting out of your relationship occasionally. Well, what should we do? How can we make the most mature choice? Like, we're adults here. How can we make this work? I'm sorry. My daughter does that with her partner, and yeah. Anyway, I just gave them a relationship reading. It was so much fun. So that is something that I should put on my website, is like we can do a FaceTime and just do a full-on relationship thing. Wouldn't that be just crazy fun? Oh, okay, they're saying charge $55 for half an hour to 45 minutes. Okay, this is something I need to do. I need to put that on my website. Okay, so the 9 of spades is his work is completion. It's a much bigger picture. It's like you could ask him occasionally, what is the bigger picture? What's the biggest picture you can come up with? Okay, so this relationship composite stuff, you guys have a feeling for this? Class? I'm going to show you the next step with Shauna, just because we've gotten this far. So with my with my whole jiggy, and you can go back and watch from the beginning and how I've figured it out and what the different points are. You have a composite and you have your work to do. When the work is completed, you get a reward. And then when you, okay, so let's find your reward. And you get that by adding your vibration to, what was it? Okay, your work. You add your relationship to your work. So you would look at the composite between the King of Spades and the Ten of Diamonds, which is the Ten of Diamonds. No. You add the King of Spades. Okay, everything is going to come up as the other card now that the King of Spades is in the mix. It's like having a 9. Ooh, a 9 and a King of Spades. And I get you guys have this question to answer individually. Who are you? So the 52 plus the 9 of Spades is the 9 of Spades. So the reward you get both together, and does it always feel like it's all about him? Why is this relationship always all about you? So your reward is the 9 of Spades. When you add, this is really orange, isn't it? You add your composite to each other and you get the 9 of Spades. And now you'll add your 9 of Spades to your 10 of Diamonds to get the, like, so when you are living in this reward of this bigger perspective, this more spacious place, maybe a completion, maybe you end the relationship. That is a distinct possibility with the 9 of Spades. So let's add 36 and 48, 10 of Diamonds plus 9 of Spades. You've taken that reward, whatever that means, 84. And it doesn't mean that you're going to split up for sure. I mean, this guy's like, ooh, that's bad juju. And my experience is like, as soon as you call something bad, that's just dumb. Everything's nuanced. Guess what? Your opportunity. So this is what I call it. You add the 10 of Diamonds to the 9 of Spades, and you end up with 32, the 6 of Diamonds. Does this relationship seem like it's always about him? Oh my God. Unbelievable. Okay, so that's good for you because the 10 of Diamonds, like, it kind of pokes at that ego thing that sits there with the 10 of Diamonds that goes, it's always about me. Doesn't everything revolve around me? And they have to look at that. And it's so tricky because it's like there's a self-esteem problem in there too. It's like, it doesn't have to be about me. I love myself. And like once you get to that place of security, then being really busy and connected to everybody and doing a lot of stuff is more fulfilling and more fun. They're very involved people. So when you take the reward of the relationship, completion or whatever, and add it to your vibration 10 of, you get the 6 of Diamonds. So that is your opportunity. Your opportunity as the 6 of Diamonds is to find your purpose. That's your ascending Mars card. Like, I know what I'm going to do now. I know what my calling is. I feel so compelled to do this and to make money. It's the Dharmic work card. What's your calling? Oh, you share a child and financial support has been a big factor. Well, yeah, it doesn't always mean that it has to end, but if you really stick with this and you get a bigger picture, a bigger understanding, you complete something within yourselves, that 9 of Spades. Maybe finally put something to bed. Your result is you get really clear on your calling. Okay, what's the 6 of Diamonds plus the 9 of Spades? What's his opportunity? Oh, is for opportunity. So that would be 32 plus 48 is 80 minus 52 is 28, which is, okay, 26. So if you're trying to figure out the kings, 13, 26, 39. So 26, 27, 28, that would be the 2 of Diamonds, right? Yeah, that would be the 2 of Diamonds. I'm 90% sure. So maybe he will finally get like a partnership in values, a more mutuality. Maybe on an individual level, his opportunity is like to partner with himself, be like, yeah, I want that. I want that. Okay, let's go for that. And it's also a business partnership. You guys have a lot of diamonds in here. So it is going to be a lot about money. It will, your lives and lessons will take the form of financial things. Oh, it has ended. Wow. Wow. This is just crazy how everything has just added up. So the Six of Diamonds for you, the work of that is also your financial responsibility, and you have found your calling. So this is more, my God, this is more evidence that the way that I'm naming these is really okay. So add your rewards together. Is he in a business partnership? Does he understand that that's what it is with you? Because that would be your Six of Diamonds, 32, plus his Two of Diamonds, which is 28, is 60, which is the Eight of Hearts. Healing. The reward that you have together is healing. Emotional strength, which is really good for the child, right? Emotional strength. Yeah. I should do this with my ex because we have that. I've got a couple of exes. I'm a Seven of Diamonds after all, right? That's just lovely. Okay. I know this has been kind of long and my back is getting a little sore, but please let me sport a few more questions. Go ahead and tell me, like, if you want to look at your composite or a particular aspect of, hey, Jason, Three of Diamonds, Five of Clubs. Okay, so that's 29 and 18, right? 16, 17, 18. Adds up to 47, which is Eight of Spades. Three of Diamonds, Five of Clubs, Ten of Spades, Queen of Clubs, Ace of Clubs, Three of Hearts, King of Spades, or Ten of Clubs. Then does it go to Four of Hearts or the Queen of Hearts? Oh, are you talking about the hand? I'm like, this feels like a typewriter to me. Three of Clubs, Five of Clubs, Ten of Spades, Queen of Clubs, Ace of Clubs, Three of Hearts, King of Spades, Eight of Diamonds, and then Ten of Clubs. Then does it go to it goes to the Queen of Hearts. Yeah. And you're figuring your ascending hand. Very good. So Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Jupiter plus Saturn plus Jupiter plus Saturn plus personal ideal self. Your ultimate evolution is to this Two of Spades, being the perfect friend. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Okay, it's Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Ten of Clubs, and then these four, actually five. And yes, it would make your ascending moon card the Ace of Spades. Exactly. Hey, Rambe. Hey, Kismet. You can call me Paula. My relationship composite card with my wife is the Seven of Clubs. Same as the birth card Seven of Clubs with my ex. Wow, so your ex is the Seven of Clubs and your relationship composite is the Seven of Clubs. Isn't that crazy? It's like, woo, it makes you step back and go, it does for me. And I'm like, okay, I need to soften up on my judgment and get out my lens of neutrality and identify qualities rather than good, bad. Okay, so if your ex is a complete whack job, hi, Eden, then you can just say, okay, like say she was a kleptomaniac. You take the characteristic of stealing things, you go, oh, maybe there's a little Jack of Spades in there, maybe the power of deception. That can translate ultimately to a shamanic power. Stealing things can also just be a form of I deserve something, which in the positive is like I'm worthy. So, yeah. Um, I am having a beautiful day. It is so beautiful. I hope you are too. How's the weather? Everybody check in with the weather on March 1st. It sure looks like spring is marching in with some really big clompers here. I mean, it is warm out. I'm wearing a t-shirt, capri pants. So the Nine of Spades as a final contemplation before I answer another question or two. In the ascending spread, which is the 43rd spread, because it's one click away from 44, in the other direction, it will sit in its renter's home. Okay, so who is renting out the Nine of Spades, the Six of Spades, the renter's home? Where does the Six of Spades live? It lives here in the pure spread. So that's the ascending. That's how you figure out the ascending position is you say, where is my renter's home? Okay, so it sits here in Neptune and Mars. So let's think about Neptune, Mars. The other Neptune, Mars intersection is the Eight of Clubs. It's the capacity to see beyond what is into what could be and to be able to feel and know and think and strategize what are the practical steps to get there. I have a passion, I have a vision. So maybe that's some of the energy of today. Julie Purdy. Oh, it's overcast in LA. Ew. But it's in the 60s, so it's like, ooh, just feel the moisture on your skin. It is like dry as dust out here all the time, Colorado. If you're in a relationship with the spades, then the composite is just going to remain the partner's card, the king of spades, you mean? Yeah. Given you are always, yeah, isn't that weird? So my mom is the king of spades. And I would invite you to consider, okay, like, oh, I'm stuck with the king of spades. That's the only that I get to look at here in terms of this relationship. The king of spades is in the circle of seven. It's what I call it, of fixed and semi-fixed cards. So I've experienced that as kind of a buffet. It's like, ooh, you're in the circle of seven club. And any one of those cards may show up and express itself, and your soul will decide what it wanted to work with. And they're all divine archetypes. That's what the circle of seven is. Yeah, so my mom is January 1st, and I think that's what made us all feel that she treated everyone differently, because she did. She treated you according to who you were. She reflected back to you what it was like to be with you. I mean, she had her own shit. I mean, King of Spades are human beings, and their planetary ruler will always be the Five of Clubs. What's their ascending planetary ruler? Hey, Mom, I never thought about this. So let's take age 43, and let's do the Saturn, the Capricorn thing, because when you descend, you go Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. So the descending, ascending is the Four of Diamonds. The lesson is I'm enough. The King of Spades, let's see, ascending. Let's go back to this chart. Ascending would be, you go, okay, let's start there. You start to, if you figure out how to track the cards, which I'm like figuring out now, it's like King of Spades, Queen of Spades, Jack of Spades, 10 of Spades in the pure spread. That will give you the direction of where to go. So Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. They also have the Six of Clubs as an ascending planetary ruler. Five of Clubs, Six of Clubs. And here they have the King of Clubs. I knew she was a know-it-all. So that's the ascending. So what that means is in its highest form, the King of Clubs energy can tell you, and this is what my mom did, is you have your own frame of reference. I validate your subjective knowledge and understanding. Like we'd get into a heated topic, some political issue, and she'd be like, there are two sides to everything. Like, and even though, she was a Christian, it's like that didn't matter. She would interact with a person based on who they are as an individual. And she'd be like, well, there are two sides to everything. And I was like, so that is that King of Clubs talking. Wow, that is so cool. It's like this gives me a whole new way to think about my mom. So, oh, it's so funny. I have that behind me. Thank you for helping me with understanding the ascending. My mind is blown with King of Spades as my Uranus ascending. I love that. That's some infinite possibilities. Yeah, you're welcome. What I'm hearing is that for the Three of Diamonds, you will be given a choice to be in positions of tremendous responsibility, but it will be your choice. That's the Uranus energy is maybe, maybe not, or it will come to you in an unconventional way. I can think of a famous Three of Diamonds that all of that lines up. You don't have to serve, but you could. And then it could be your genius because the Uranus is genius. That position of responsibility and power could be your genius, your opportunity for you to exercise your genius. And technology, yeah. And the Ace of Spades as a moon. So the ascending moon, that's good. I want to talk about this. So if you want to figure out your ascending hand, you just go in the other direction, which means now your moon is your former Mercury card. So let's take the 10 of diamonds. We think of the 10 of hearts as their moon card, right? If they're going in this direction. Well, if they're going in this direction, the 8 of spades becomes their moon. Okay, I'll use Jason. So the Ace of Spades becomes moon to the 3 of diamonds because then he's all off in this direction. Up and to the right instead of down and to the left. That's the little key to remember. So what that means is the ascending moon card is like something that you've mastered that stays in your hip pocket that other people can't see and don't know about. But it gives you a kind of solidity, a cushion, like a mattress, that makes you feel okay in any context, like with people especially. Oh, business technology birth card is the King's. Oh, that is so cool. January 1st. That's why you were like, whoa, that's when my business was born. So cool. So potential big impact there. We're at 52 minutes. So that card becomes a cushion. So that Ace of Spades for him would be like innovation, doing something in a pioneering way, being a very defined individual. I know who I am. It's like I may appear in all different ways to other people, but when I have that very solid sense of defined self as an Ace of Spades, I can handle anything. I can navigate with ease. That's how the moon card should feel when you've evolved into it. So there's a real tight relationship between your Mercury and your moon, your thinking and your feeling, right? It's like it's a circle. And then we learn to reverse the circle, come from the heart and go to the head. If your ascending cards resonate more than the descending, it means that you've just done more, you've just accomplished more ego work and resolution. It doesn't mean that shit doesn't come up, right? And that you fly off the handle and react and you're like, oh, that's my old little ego friend jumping in there. But the more you master that, the more you live into that ascending hand and it just gets more like, yeah, this is more, the higher side of this card is how I show up in the world and my relationships and for myself. Yeah, that's really cool. Well, this has been really, really fun. I love that you guys show up, and I promise next week, no, I can't promise anything, but chances are I will be feeling better, and I will schedule a Friday session on, what is that? My mind blown. I'll schedule a Friday session next week. Maybe 10 a.m., maybe 1 p.m. I kind of like this time. Does this work for you guys? And yeah, if you have a preference, feel free to drop a message about what time works for you. Merging Spirit, you are so welcome. And thank you for letting us use you as a guinea pig, you and your roommate. That was interesting. And Lashana, thank you too for letting us dissect your relationship, which ended in divorce. That 9 of spades, I don't mean to laugh. It's just like the reflection that came out of that was just mind blowing to me. Yeah, I'm gonna map out the longest standing relationships in my life so I can come to more understanding with how this all works. So One more time, just the guy that kind of tipped me off to this, in case you want to take a look at it. Stephen G. Meyer. That used to be my name, Meyer. That was my first husband. Okay, have a really great day, you guys. Enjoy spring. Happy March.